I'm going to show you a bunch of tips and tricks for Loop Hero on top of explaining a few of the things in the game that are not explained and a lot of people are confused about. So let's get started. For starters, supply items are completely broken. You want to equip as many as you can, especially antique shelves and couch chairs. If you need more item slots unlocked, slap down mud huts. They don't cost very much at all, and there's plenty of space to spam the mud huts. Mud huts give one additional slot. Upgrading to level 2 does not give an additional slot, but levels 3 and 4 do. So place all the mud huts that you can before bothering with any upgrades. One big question that a lot of people have is, what in the world is Maze of Memories for? Does it have some hidden use or some secret to it? No, it does not. The point of Maze of Memories is to spawn a boss. Maze of Memory fills up a lot of space, and the more space you fill, the faster the boss spawns. Like so. Boss spawn with only Maze of Memories. First boss, chapter 4. A big question that a lot of people have is, what does summon quality do? Summon quality is actually the best stat that a Necromancer can get. And the reason summon quality is so good is it increases the chance of getting one of the special skeletons, either the guy with the Wolverine claws or the skeleton golem. The skeleton golem in particular is extremely useful because the skeleton golem forces enemies to attack it first before it can hit you, and the skeleton golem takes less damage per hit. So let's equip these, and let me show you. So you see now that we are spawning the Wolverine guys and the golem guys instead of only the basic guys. If you get to 100%, then you literally can't spawn the default skeletons any longer. Another big question that a lot of people have is, how do you unlock the Suburbs card? The Suburbs card is actually unlocked from the gymnasium. You have to level the gymnasium up to level 2, which will turn it into an academy. Once you have an academy unlocked, you will now have the Suburbs card unlocked. Another big question that people have is, what does magic damage do exactly? Well, obviously magic damage does damage, but what the real power of magic damage is that magic damage does true damage, meaning that if it says 7 magic damage, that enemy will receive 7 points of damage no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's skeleton, doesn't matter if it's gargoyle, doesn't matter what their defense is, it does true damage. So whatever number you see on magic damage, that is the actual number of damage that the enemy is going to receive, period. It's actually possible to get more than one arsenal. You could potentially get as many arsenals as you want, but the odds of this happening are almost 0. What you can do is you can place battlefields which can make ghosts spawn. There's a 10% chance of a 10% chance of a 10% chance that you will get a primeval instead of a ghost. A ghost will spawn, you kill the ghost, it can become a ghost of a ghost, and if you kill the ghost of a ghost, there's another 10% chance that a primeval spawns. If that spawns, it will give you cards that are not in your deck, and that gives you a chance of getting additional arsenals. Actually, I don't think that it's cards that are not in your deck. It just gives you random cards, so it can be cards that are in your deck or not in your deck. So there's a chance, a very, very small chance, that you can get more than one arsenal, and I have seen it done on someone's stream once, so it definitely is possible, although you'll probably never actually see it, even if you try to make it happen. And in case you were curious, this is what a prime matter looks like. I called it a primeval before. I forgot this name is actually a prime matter. My bad. For some reason, some people want to know how to get more astral orbs. You can get these from defeating mage or cosmic type enemies. The easiest way to do this is to equip a temporal beacon and a bookery and only place those two things. When the bookery runs out of charges, it'll spawn books, which are mages, and the temporal beacon will spawn time watchers, which are cosmic enemies. These enemies will drop the astral orbs. Alchemist Tent is the best building that you can place out of all the buildings other than possibly the mud hut. The reason for this is it unlocks the ability to do alchemy. Alchemy, it lets you take resources that you have, decompose them into hydrogen, and then use that hydrogen to synthesize other materials that you might need. This will help you to manage your resources so that you can just farm basic resources like wood and stone, and then convert those into the more rare resources like astral orbs and these other ones that I don't know the name of offhand. Some people want to know how the defense stat works. Generally, as far as I can tell, the defense stat is just a flat reduction to the enemy's damage. So if the enemy was going to do 10 damage and you have 4 defense, the enemy will now do 6 damage. Although some enemies do magic damage, and magic damage pierces through armor. So that may be why some people are confused, because some enemies seem to still do different amounts of damage than others, regardless of your defense. The best golden card in all of Loop Hero is the Ancestral Crypt. The reason for this is it gives plus 3 HP for every enemy with the soul killed. If you combine this with the Grove, the Cemetery, and the Vampire Mansion, all of which these enemies have souls, then you should be able to get hundreds and hundreds, if not more than 1,000 HP per loop if you completely fill the map, so that every battle has 5 enemies, 4 from a Grove or Cemetery, and 1 from the Vampire Mansion. When building your camp, some of the buildings need to be placed against other buildings. You might end up in a situation where a building is completely locked in on all 4 sides with other buildings, but you want to place a building that needs to go against it and there's no room for it. If this happens to you, you will have to dismantle the building to make room and replace that building again. You'll lose resources, which is unfortunate, but it is the only way that you can get out of this situation. To avoid having this happen, whenever a building will allow you to place it anywhere you want, as opposed to being right next to something else, always place it as far away from the center of the village as possible. As you can see I did here, you just make a line away from the center with any building that does not need to be against another building. That will guarantee that any building that needs to be next to another building will always have space available. The way that healing potions work in Loop Hero are that the more you have, the more quickly your hero will use them. So if you are completely full on potions, your hero will start using them when he's missing like 30% of his HP. Once you only have 2 or 3 potions left, the hero will only use them when he's below maybe like 30% HP. The potions get used automatically, and you have no control over when or how the hero uses them. Rivers double the bonus from any nearby resources like thickets. But what you might not know is that this effect can happen multiple times. So this thicket right here has 3 rivers beside it, tripling the effect. So instead of +2, it gives +6%. So one good strategy you can employ is to take a river all the way down to the bottom, go across, and come back up like this, but further down. And that will allow you to get double the bonus from the same amount of space for thickets or whatever other resource you would like to combo with the river. That's all the tips and tricks that I have for today for Loop Hero. So hopefully that helps you out on your journey and on all your farming. If you have any other questions or you think of anything else that you might wonder, be sure to check the description, because I will link to most of my other videos that I made for Loop Hero in the description of this video. Build guides, how to cheat, how to fight the 6th or 5th and real final boss, and so on and so forth. So be sure to check the description for other helpful resources. But now you know a bunch of helpful tips and tricks for Loop Hero. If this video helped you, consider helping us by subscribing to our channel. Tap this button over here and hit the red subscribe button. Subscriptions help a lot, even if you never watch our videos again. Ha 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 ha!